Audi is spending billions to join the 2026 Formula One grid. This theatrical reveal is designed to show an automaker at its peak, ready to establish themselves alongside Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. Formula One is a sport defined by high-speed aggression and technical perfection. It is a world where even the smallest engineering flaw is exposed in front of a global audience. But while the brand projects confidence on the track, their internal financial sheets tell a different story. Away from the spotlights, Audi is facing a silent retreat in their most crucial markets. This chart tracks Audi's North American market share over the last 5 quarters. The decision to enter Formula One follows a trajectory that, if left uncorrected, threatens the viability of their premium business. The massive investment in racing is now colliding with the reality of stagnant showroom floors. To understand why Audi is taking this gamble, we have to look at the battlefield they are currently losing. That battlefield is the United States and Canada. North America is the primary engine for global luxury profits. In this segment, brand perception is the only thing that protects high margins. If a brand loses its hold here, the financial impact ripples through its entire global operation. Historically, Audi has competed for 3rd place against BMW and Mercedes-Benz. But as these sales figures show, that gap has recently widened into a chasm. The issue is one of identity. While the market embraced expressive luxury, Audi's designs remained completely safe. To many buyers, the brand has started to feel uninspired. BMW has captured market share by leaning into aggressive, polarizing styling that stands out in a crowded premium segment. Meanwhile, Mercedes-Benz has successfully focused its identity on high-end luxury and classical prestige. By trying to play it safe, Audi ended up stuck in the middle. They lack the aggressive edge of BMW and the overt luxury of Mercedes, leaving them increasingly invisible to wealthy North American buyers. Audi expected the e-tron series to solve this. It was supposed to be the high-tech flagship securing their future in the electric era. Instead, the series is struggling to find traction. In both the US and Canada, premium buyers are bypassing Audi's electric offerings. Buyers are choosing Tesla for its established software and charging network, or moving to Porsche and BMW for superior driving dynamics. This lack of demand created a buildup of unsold inventory. Across the continent, high-priced EVs are sitting on lots, unable to find homes. This failure targets Audi's primary marketing claim. When a brand built on engineering leadership loses its edge in the newest technology, the entire foundation of its prestige begins to erode. In the luxury world, you rely on premium pricing power. You charge more because the brand is perceived as exclusive. To clear out the growing inventory, Audi is now being forced to offer heavy discounts. This creates the prestige death spiral. Excess inventory leads to discounts. Discounts lower perceived value. Once the brand feels common, demand drops further. If this continues, the high margins required to fund Audi's global operations will vanish. Audi's leadership recognized that incremental changes wouldn't work. They needed a global stage to pivot the brand's entire public perception. They needed to prove they were still at the forefront of engineering, and they needed a platform large enough to reach the wealthy North American demographic that was abandoning them. They found that platform in a sport that has seen a massive surge in US viewership. An aggressive billion-dollar investment is now rapidly flowing into a brand new mechanical architecture, built specifically for the track. Their legacy and their survival in America now depend on what happens when their car hits the track in 2026. Will it be a successful pivot, or the final nail in the coffin? Right now, Audi is struggling to capture the one demographic it needs to secure its future: young, wealthy car buyers in North America. Across the parent Volkswagen Group, executive leadership is mandating tightening budgets and strict cost-cutting measures. Yet, in the middle of these restrictions, Audi just bought out the Sauber Formula One team to enter the sport as a full factory competitor. Between the acquisition and developing a brand new hybrid power unit, they're committing well over $1 billion before the car even touches a track. It is a massive financial risk, forcing a struggling brand to bet its remaining capital on the most expensive marketing exercise on the planet. For decades, Formula One remained a European-centric sport, with very limited appeal in the United States. That changed with Netflix's Drive to Survive, which introduced the sport to millions of new viewers and shifted the audience profile away from its traditional roots. The sport responded with a rapid geographic expansion, establishing new races in Austin, Miami, and Las Vegas, alongside the long-standing event in Montreal. This new North American audience is exactly what car manufacturers look for. They are young, highly engaged, and wealthy. The Miami Grand Prix highlights the scale of this new market, surrounding the circuit with luxury hospitality and high-end spectators. Las Vegas has become the ultimate symbol of this shift, turning the world-famous strip into a high-speed, multi-billion-dollar corporate billboard. This high-spending audience is exactly the demographic Audi's road car division is currently failing to capture. Audi believes they can bridge that gap using a marketing strategy known as the halo effect. The goal is to race wheel-to-wheel with legacy brands like Mercedes and Ferrari, elevating the perception of Audi's engineering by association. If they can prove their performance on Sunday, they expect wealthy buyers to show up at Audi dealerships on Monday. It's an attempt to shed their reputation as a boring German manufacturer and compete more effectively with their direct market rivals. The timing is deliberate. The 2026 regulations mandate a heavy focus on sustainable fuels and significantly more electrical power. Audi is using these rules to market their struggling road car division as a leader in electrified motorsport. But marketing theories eventually have to face the brutal financial reality of a full factory entry. First is the cost of the acquisition itself, requiring a total buyout and restructuring of the entire Sauber organization. This technical layout shows the second hurdle. They must develop a brand new, complex hybrid power unit from scratch at their facility in Germany. The electrical and battery systems required for the 2026 era are notoriously difficult and expensive to engineer. Combined, these costs represent a billion-dollar investment before a car ever completes a single competitive lap. There is immense pressure on the engineering team to build a championship contender from nothing under a very tight deadline. This scale of upfront spending creates a financial point of no return for Audi's leadership. In traditional corporate PR, failures can be managed or hidden. In Formula One, the results are absolute and transparent. If the car is slow or the engineering is flawed, there is nowhere to hide the deficit from the public. Every mistake and every loss happens in front of hundreds of millions of people watching the broadcast live. The ultimate risk for Audi is being publicly outperformed by the very competitors they spent $1 billion to challenge. Audi has placed $1 billion bet in an arena where failure is completely naked, and losing could permanently damage the brand image they are trying to rebuild. In 2026, Audi will join the Formula One grid, committing to one of the most capital-intensive projects in the history of the sport. The billion-dollar price tag raises a specific question for the board at the VW Group. Is this a calculated investment or a reckless gamble? The 2026 entry is a direct attempt to stabilize their North American business, using the global reach of the sport to solve a local crisis. The F1 team functions as a billion-dollar billboard designed to broadcast Audi's engineering capabilities to a massive global audience. The primary target for this marketing effort is the North American luxury market, a region that historically provided Audi with its highest profit margins. Currently, Audi is struggling to maintain its relevance with US and Canadian consumers as sales figures continue to flatten. This chart tracks the market share of the top German manufacturers. BMW and Mercedes show steady upward trends, while Audi's trajectory deviates downward. The data highlights a widening gap, leaving Audi in a distant third place in North America. With their market share eroding, the decision to enter Formula One appears to be a high-stakes attempt to reclaim their standing before they lose their footing in America entirely. History suggests that a massive budget is no guarantee of success in Formula One. The sport often serves as a graveyard for major automotive brands. Toyota, Jaguar, and Honda all entered the sport with significant financial backing, only to struggle against more established racing operations. Toyota is the most cited example of this trend. Despite spending hundreds of millions per season, the team never achieved the dominance their board expected. These manufacturers often fall into a trap of sustained spending with no tangible return on brand equity, eventually forcing an expensive exit. Audi faces this same historical risk as they prepare for their 2026 debut. If the team consistently runs at the back of the grid, the billion-dollar investment could backfire, creating the perception that Audi's engineering is inferior to its rivals. The visual of an Audi being lapped by Mercedes and Red Bull would undermine the technical supremacy they are projecting to the North American market. Failing on the world stage would cement the idea that Audi has fallen behind, potentially accelerating their sales decline in the US and Canada. Pressure on the team is amplified by the current financial environment inside VW Group headquarters. The parent company is currently implementing cost-cutting measures across its various divisions to improve overall margins. These reductions are being felt throughout their global manufacturing operations as the board looks for ways to offset the high costs of electrification. In this environment, the massive sunk costs of an F1 program will face significant scrutiny from the board. To remain viable, the program must show immediate commercial returns that justify the billion-dollar spend. Success will be measured by a quantifiable increase in overall brand value and a measurable turnaround in North American sales. If those metrics don't improve, the board could pull the plug on the project, leaving Audi with a damaged reputation and significant financial losses. Audi is now facing a strategic crossroads. Can they turn a racing entry into a solution for their long-term replicate? Traditional marketing efforts have failed to reverse their current trajectory in the United States. The F1 entry is an attempt to use a global spectacle to force North American consumers to reconsider the brand. Audi is essentially betting everything on 2026, using the sport as a high-stakes tool to stabilize their future. If the gamble pays off, Audi could reclaim its position alongside BMW and Mercedes at the top of the luxury market. If it fails, this might become one of the industry's most expensive failures. Do you believe this entry is the correct move to save Audi's relevance in America, or is the risk of failure too high? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. For more investigations into the financial strategies and risks of the world's largest corporations, make sure to subscribe to Capital Casualty. Every major corporate expansion carries the potential for total financial collapse. I'm Capital Casualty, and I'll see you in the next video.